Hey guys, I know it's been a minute since I've done one of these videos, but I was kind of taking time out for myself and that. But I have got a lot of messages and asking about it and why I stopped and that. And I didn't really answer. I was just kind of like, oh, I'm just too busy and this and that. But the truth was really that I had to stop doing them for a while because I was giving everything into doing these videos. I was putting all of myself into it, and I just needed to take a step back and just focus on myself, take away all the distractions that were there and just kind of focus on me, trying to get me better. And I've thought many times about doing a video because over the last, I don't know, it's probably a couple of months since I did one, but over that time I've been really, really good at times, and I was going to do one then because obviously the last few videos have been a bit more positive, and that's what I'm trying to do because I don't want it all to be negative, but I also don't want it to be fake positivity. I want it to be real. So I was like, no, look, just hold off. It's just a couple of weeks. It was maybe like a week or two that was really good, and that was it. And since then again, it's started to slowly slide, and I was going to do one where I was 50-50 and be like, oh, I was happy, and now I'm kind of settling back into normal, and now I've kind of come full circle again, and the last couple of maybe week, 2 weeks have been very, very tough for me personally. And the channel, I suppose, was never really about me personally. I mean, I tell it from my point of view, but it's more for everyone, um, to try and help, some people. And I just kind of wanted to talk about society and the role it plays in it because I've touched on it a couple of times, but you know, um, I've never really done a full video on it, so I don't know how long or short this is going to be, but this is just kind of my opinion. I don't want to personalize it too much, but obviously it's going to come back to, what I feel and why I feel the way I do about society. And to start, I really do dislike society. It's built on this social media thing now. Um, People put their lives up on Facebook. Rarely do I put much more up on Facebook than an opinion about sports or one of these videos. It's very rare. I do that. Some people, they put everything into Facebook and Instagram and stuff, and it's important to get likes and this and that. It is at a stage where kind of Snapchat streaks and Instagram likes do mean more than loyalty in real life, and that's kind of a sad thing. I mean, when was the last time you sat down with someone, had dinner, um, stayed off your phones for the full dinner? I'm guilty of it as well. Don't get me wrong, I do it. Um, and I'm not going to say, oh, I have to message people back because of anything. People wait 10 minutes for a message. Unless obviously it's urgent. But when was the last time you did that? When was the last time you went out with someone, or went to town, or went shopping with someone and stayed off your phone for the full trip? You probably can't tell me. So I'm kind of glad that I was probably one of the last generations who grew up, outside playing football or, hurling or rugby, or we did literally everything. We just called to people's houses and walked around to the shops and stuff like that. But that's not my focus. My focus is social media. It can be good, but also very, very bad because, um, people are judged on how they feel and you're supposed to be happy. And I feel that I'm going to bring it back to me, so forgive me, but I'm trying to just prove my point from my point of view. I don't obviously want to personalize it too much, but I'm going to have to. So, when I first did a video, probably about a year and a half ago, coming out as depressed, um, the support was amazing. It was unbelievable. It really was. And it made me feel a little bit better. I was like, okay, this many people do feel this way. And I still get messages from people that, I haven't talked to in years, years and years. I mean, literally, haven't talked to. Some people I thought, mightn't like me and this and that have messaged me. And that's really, really nice because it's the people you don't expect that go through this kind of thing and don't talk to it, talk about it, sorry. So yeah, there's that. But yeah, as I was saying, I was getting support. You can look at it. The video's got, I don't know how many likes, but maybe a couple hundred, maybe just over 100. I don't know, a lot of likes compared to the stuff I usually get. Um, but it's comments and stuff like that, messages, all the messages, and really, really nice. Text me if you ever need anything. Whenever you need me, I'm there. And I genuinely do think people mean well, but at the same rate, the longer it's gone on, I wouldn't say that the support is dwindled, because people will, I guarantee if I asked everyone, they'd probably still say, oh yeah, yeah, I still meant what I said. And I understand that a lot of people don't want to watch it, don't want to look at me that way, or, have to look at me in such a bad place, as some of the videos have been pretty dark. I know that myself, but yeah, back to the point basically is that, I have messaged a few people, and I'm not going to message and tell them, oh, look, I'm suicidal today, help me. You'd send a hey, or what's up, or how are you, and you get ignored. And, I get people are busy and that, sometimes when people message me, even when it's kind of serious, I can't respond to it straight away, but then, you know, nothing back. I'm thinking, okay. So that makes you feel worse, because you're like, well, they did say text me, and people aren't going to text you saying, I desperately need help. Very rarely will people text you saying that, unless they've really reached a breaking point. But some people will text you, hey, and, they might text you 2 or 3 times in a week or something. And another thing is, you're made feel guilty for texting someone and texting them again. Maybe you really want to talk to that person. Maybe you actually like that person, but it's seen as creepy or whatever because of you're trying too hard. There's nothing wrong with showing a bit of effort towards people. Nothing at all. I don't get that. I don't understand it. But yeah, back to it. I feel like there's this thing in society where basically I've become tired of hearing myself say I'm depressed, I'm bipolar, and all these things when something goes wrong, and it sounds like a shitty excuse, and I even feel now that I'm sick of hearing myself say it. That makes me feel worse than when I have to use it, because it's not an excuse. Because I've come to the realization that it's not an excuse. I'm explaining why I do what I do, or why that day I couldn't do what I didn't do. You know what I mean? And I'm made feel bad for it because I'm repeating myself. I'm using the same thing. Well, depression isn't something that goes away, and I feel that society, the longer you bang on about something, you might raise a great point and they're all in for it. But if you keep trying to raise that point, I feel like I don't feel like they mean to do this intentionally. I'm not having a go at people. I'm just saying that this is the way society is built, and this is what I'm trying to change. I'm trying to change the fact that the more you talk about something, the less attention it gets. Because it's not the fresh story, it's not the new thing. I mean, there could be a 20-second ad come on a YouTube video, and we're sick of it. I don't know why everything is so rushed, or, why we have to have everything new, or why everything has to be new and fresh. Sometimes talking about the same old thing is a good thing. There's a reason. This issue will never be resolved fully, and sure, strides have been made to make it better, but it's not getting that much better. It's still not socially acceptable to say I want to kill myself, because it makes everyone awkward. And I understand that it's a difficult thing to hear from someone, but would you prefer that someone said that and you helped them, or got a response, than someone staying quiet and doing it and going, oh, I wish you would have talked to me? Well, maybe he tried to. Maybe he texted you a couple of times. I'm not talking about one specific person. I'm just saying that as a society, we need to learn to stop, ignoring people who are trying to make contact with us. A simple, hey, text them back in a week. If you don't want to text them, just say, look, I'm busy now, can't really talk. Or, hey, look, good to hear from you, something like that. You can make something up, that, doesn't involve ignoring someone. Because ignoring people is very, very difficult then for them to process, because I've done it where you text someone and you text them a second time, you're going, oh no, I shouldn't text them a second time because that looks desperate. It doesn't look desperate at all. It looks like you want to talk. It looks like you're trying to make an effort for that person to be in your life. Yeah, I just think the whole way everything is perceived, the more you do something, when you try something new, people criticize you if it's out of the norm. For example, when I did my sports videos, a lot of stuff like that. Recent stuff in the news, like CM Punk getting a lot of criticism because he had the balls to step out of his comfort zone, do something. Yeah, he got beat pretty badly both times, and was it embarrassing? I don't think so, because you can never say it's embarrassing for someone to go out of their comfort zone, do something like that when other people have been training for it their whole lives. He was never going to have a great UFC career. Never. It just couldn't possibly have happened. But he still had the balls to go and do it. He wanted to do it. He chased it, and we're criticizing people for doing that. We should be encouraging people to get up and do something different, something that, they want to do. I know plenty of people who say, oh, I want to do this, but it never happened for me. I say that about a lot of things. We just got to get up and do it. And I know that's ironic for me because I also say that you can't do things, but it's not just get up and do it. We should be encouraging it, because when someone does something different or out in the ordinary, we look down our nose at it and we think, what? What's he doing? What's she doing? It's weird. And then, once the freshness of it, even if it's a great idea and people are like, oh, that's fantastic, once the freshness of it is over, we move on to something else the next day or two. And I just think that we just need to take a look at ourselves, and just kind of say, look, I'm going to make more of a conscious effort to be more aware, because I don't think people mean to do it. I just think it's the way it's gone. And it's really shitty, because when you talk about an issue that needs to be discussed, it means it's getting less and less attention. So that's kind of all I have to say about it right now. So yeah, thanks guys, and hope to see you soon.